Hey everyone. Okay, it's another video time on solving equations and we're just working through the levels of these. So now I just want to introduce you to some more types of problems. So these next few examples we haven't really done in class yet. So we're just going to practice them. The first one is what happens when you are dealing with a bigger fraction. We've been doing little fraction problems, but now let's imagine you get something like this. You get, let's say, x plus 2 all over 3 equals 4. X plus 2 all over 3 equals 4. Okay, so this problem's a little bit different. We're going to put the line down the middle and solve for x, going through our steps. But we have one big fraction. Everything is being divided by 3. So you're not going to say, oh, I'm going to flip the 2 over first. You can't really do that. The 2 is being divided by 3. Everything is kind of anchored by this 3. So when you get that one really big fraction, you need to multiply the 3 over first. That needs to be your first step. So you do 4 times 3 is 12. And now with the division gone, now you just have x plus 2 equals 12. And now it's a really easy problem that you know how to solve. You know to take the plus 2, flip it over, make it a minus 2, and you get x is equal to 12 subtract 2 is 10. So 10 is our answer. Just like that. You also know that if you're unsure and you want to check your answer, you know how to do that and it kind of advances your work. So we could easily say check answer over here and make sure we were doing this correctly. And if I was going to check my answer, what I would do is just copy the original problem. Take this big fraction, x plus 2 over 3 equals 4, and take what I think the answer is, which is 10 for x, and replace x with the 10. Make it 10 plus 2 all over 3 equals 4. And do the math and check and see if it's right. So 10 plus 2. 10 plus 2 is 12. So I have 12 over 3 equals 4. And with fractions we mean division. So 12 over 3 means 12 divided by 3. 12 divided by 3 is 4. Sure enough, 4 equals 4. Check. Alright, so we did everything good. And my work looks like a level 4. It's pretty advanced at the moment because I checked it and solved it. Two things kind of going on there. So let's look at another one here. Next example. Let's say we had this. 2x minus 5 over 3 equals, we'll say 7. 2x minus 5 over 3 equals 7. I'm going to put a line down the middle. Again, it's one of these big fraction problems, so I need to take the 3 and move it over to the other side by multiplying it. So I'm going to times it by 3. I'm going to get the 3 gone, so I'm going to have 2x minus 5. No more fraction. We got rid of the fraction. We didn't want that fraction. And now we just have 7 times 3. And 7 times 3 is 21. So 21. And now it's kind of turned into a problem that I know how to do. I'm going to take the minus 5 and flip it over. So it becomes a positive 5. Cross it out because it flipped. I still have 2 x's. And 21 plus 5, add that up, is 26. And then it's down to the last step. And in my last step, I'm going to divide it into 2 groups. Divide the 2 x's up into 2 groups and divide 26 by 2 so that I can get my answer. And 26 divided by 2, let's see, 10 divided by 2, or 20 divided by 2 is 10. 6 divided by 2 is 3. So 10, 3 makes it 13. There's my answer, 13. And if I really, really wanted to get my level 4, I'd go over here and check my answer. Make sure I was right. So you have to be kind of careful because once I show you how to do these, this is what's going to happen. This is just super common. Then I'll go back and give you a problem. But I'll change it back up and I'll say, now can you solve 4 plus x over 5 equals 2. And you look at it, you see the fraction, you put your line down the middle. Okay, 4 plus x over 5 equals 2. Well, sure enough, what people start doing is saying multiply the 5 over and they start timesing the 5 over. But you can't do that. This is not one of those big encompassing fractions. That's a little fraction. That plus 4 is still out by itself and still needs to flip over first. So we need to take the 4, flip it over. It's a positive 4, so it's going to flip to a negative 4, and we'll cross it out. The fraction is not gone yet, so we still have x over 5 equals 2 subtract 4, so that's going to be a negative 2. And now I can deal with that fraction. Now I can say, okay, let's multiply the 5 over times the 5 over and get x equals negative 2 times 5, so negative 10 is my answer. There we go. Okay, let's look at something else while we're doing these. The other thing I want to show you is let's start getting some more x's into the problem. Let's do something like this. Let's say we had 3x minus 1 equals x, we'll say, minus 9. Alright, so line down the middle. These are where they start getting a little bit more fun. I see I have a few different things I could flip and move around. I see x's on both sides. I see numbers on both sides. You can start wherever you want to start. Like I might want to take the negative 1 and just flip it over to make it a positive 1. That'd be a good first step. If I flip the negative 1 over, I just have 3x equals, I still have an x, but then I have minus 9 plus 1. So that means I have 9 little negative tiles. You can picture all of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 on my mat. And one positive tile. And those are going to zero out, and you're going to have negative 8. 8 left. So I still have an x minus 8. Well, let's get the x's together. If there's an x here and an x here, why don't we flip one of them over, like flip this x over. And it's a positive x flipping to a negative x. So if you have 3 x's and you want to subtract an x, that's 2 x's. So we're going to have 2 x's equals minus 8. Minus 8. And then we're almost done. We just got to divide it into 2 groups. Divide by 2. Divide by 2. X is going to equal negative 8 divided by 2, which is 8 divided by 2 is 4. And a negative number divided by a positive is a negative. So we get negative 4. X equals negative 4. And there's my answer. Okay, so lots of different stuff. One more problem I would like you to try. Next example. Why don't you go ahead and copy this one down and then try it yourself first. So this time we're going to do negative 3 minus 5x equals, we'll say, 10 subtract 4x. Alright, give it a try. So, line down the middle, I'm going to start flipping things around. I can kind of start wherever I want to. I'm thinking, why don't we take this negative 3 and move it over here to make it a positive 3. Notice I'm being pretty strategic and putting it with the 10 because I know these are all little units on the tile mat. I'm not going to put it with the x. So if the negative 3 is gone, I still have a minus 5x equals 10 plus 3 is 13 and a minus 4x. And now I want to get those x's together. So I'm going to take the minus 4x, move it over. Negative 4 is going to flip into a positive 4x, like so. And negative 5 plus 4 is a negative 1x. Negative 1x equals 13. Now I could technically try and do like division right now, but a negative 1x is really just a negative x tile equals 13. I mean, that's really what it means. We don't usually write the 1. So all I really want to do is fix it so I'm not solving for that negative x. I'm going to make it into a positive x over on this side. But if I'm doing that, I'm going to do just like a little flip-flop here. I'm going to move the 13 over to here and make it a negative 13. And negative 13 equals x. And there's my answer.